Richie B, the party master, on Up and Go.
How are you doing today? Compliments of the season, one and all. How's the Christmas looking from where you're at right now? Looking good? I hope so. Hope you're in good spirits. Hope you're able to receive and to give a lot of love throughout this Yuletide season. So a couple of weeks ago, we carried a breaking story in relation to some 17 missionaries that were abducted in Haiti, and a ransom of some $1 million each was being sought at the time. Later on, I think 5 of those captured were released, and then, believe it or not, the update that we have for you right now this morning is that the remaining 14 or 15 missionaries, including a 10-month-old baby, have in fact escaped their captors. They were being held at a house apparently, and they, in the dead of night, managed to get out of the building, walked out into the woods, they say, in thicket and shrubbery, with no neighbors in sight. And they walked and walked and walked for several miles, in fact, several hours, before close to daybreak, they finally encountered an individual in Haiti, ladies and gentlemen. That individual had a phone, and they were able to call the authorities, who made arrangements to collect them, and now they have been flown back to Florida on a U.S. Coast Guard flight. We're thankful that they actually are alive, and there's no official word as to whether or not the ransom that was being sought has been paid. We understand that they managed, through the help of the Almighty, to escape, evade a number of guards that were in close proximity. But when all was said and done, these missionaries, who were actually visiting an orphanage when they were actually captured in Haiti some weeks ago, are back home, safe and in one piece. And it's time for us to move right into WTF. And you know by now, WTF means what? The fact. And we've got a fact to share with you at this point in time. This morning we're looking at Christmas wreaths. And are they religious symbols? Let me tell you. The Christmas wreath first originated as a symbol of Christ. You heard? The holly represents the crown of thorns Jesus wore at his crucifixion. And as for the berries stand for the blood that he shed. So, let me tell you, my friends, when you see a wreath this holiday, please remember the reason for the season. Just to tell you a little bit more, Christmas wreaths are made by twisting or bending evergreen branches into a large circle, and then they're decorated with pine cones, and a red bow is usually attached. And the circle shape of the wreath is made to represent Christ's eternal love, his strength, and the creation of new life. So you have all the details that you want on Christmas wreaths, which you see very often all around the place, at business places, in homes, and now you have the facts on it. That was WTF, What the Fact. It's now time for us to share with you a proverb of the day. And as usual, we play you a proverb, a recording of a proverb, and then we give you the translation, followed by the meaning or the explanation. Here is today's proverb.
Learn to dance a yard before you dance abroad.
Again?
Learn to dance a yard before you dance abroad.
Learn to dance a yard before you dance abroad. By the way, yard is spelled Y-A-A-D. Abroad is spelled A-B-R-A-A-D. Learn that. Learn to dance at yard before you dance abroad. The translation, learn to dance at home before you dance abroad. That's the easy part. How many of you know exactly what that means? As it relates to the meaning and the explanation, I'm going to share that with you right now. When you hear the proverb, learn to dance a yard before you dance abroad, what that means is perfect your skills before trying to apply them in public. Or else you could end up being embarrassed. Perfect your skills before trying to apply them in public. Learn to dance a yard before you dance abroad. That is our proverb of the day. We're going to be talking to a very special guest, Mr. Egerton Newman, who is the president of the Transport Operators Development Sustainable Services, TODS. We saw recently where he was urging Jamaicans to be cautious of what he described as some sickhead drivers on our nation's roads, especially at Christmas time. And we have him as our guest on the telephone at this time. Good morning, Mr. Newman. How are you? Season's greetings.
Good morning, Richie B. How are you, my brother?
I'm doing well. Season's greetings to you.
And the very same to you, your team, and as also our transport operators, and by extension, Jamaica.
Most definitely. Fully endorsed. So you do believe that there are some drivers, some sickhead drivers on our streets?
Absolutely. There are some sickhead drivers in our streets. And they need to really understand, Richie, that they take a decision when they go behind that steering, a decision to go back home, a decision to reach their place of engagement. And therefore, the sad thing about it is that most of these drivers have with them pillions, I call it pillions, passengers in their vehicles, and they believe they're the best drivers in the world and nothing can happen to them. The sad thing is, when they get into some of these collisions, what really happens is that they don't know. They're gone. And it leaves several families to suffer the consequence of their poor judgment, their indisciplined behavior, and the fact that they know it all.
Would you go as far as saying, though, and this is a question that I'm sure that some of my listeners would want me to ask you, that there are some of those quote-unquote sickhead drivers even amongst the TODS association?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And let me just make it clear, because there are persons out there who believe that the transport sector has some of the worst drivers in the world. They are weapons of mass destruction. They are criminal by large. This year, Richie, and I want to make it very clear that out of the 442 accidents so far on our roads, less than 1% of that amount have in it persons who are in a public transport, right?
Yeah.
So we have the lowest amount of deaths on the road in terms of public transport sector, and persons must understand. But yet still, there are drivers out there because of the level of their trade. When you spend 2 hours from Harper Street to Crossroads in the traffic, that is something one needs to talk about. But the fact is, yes, there are indisciplined drivers out there in the sector. Not a whole lot of them. My check is about between 7 and 12%. But the fact is, yes, they are indisciplined drivers. They are fender benders in the public transport sector. We need to deal with them, and we are dealing with them. But the wider motoring public must understand that they cause accidents of over 440-odd persons this year.
Do you have any statistics in terms of what the numbers of crashes and even deaths on our roads is like this year compared to, say, last year?
Well, that's what I'm saying. To date,
yes,
we have some 442 fatal deaths on our road from about 429 accidents.
Yeah, I heard that. I'm sorry. I really wanted to ask you as it relates to December, the month of December.
Last year we have 33 deaths from 29 accidents.
Yes.
To date, we have some, I think it's 19 so far. So we're a little bit under the list, but we have 19 deaths so far. It seems like it's close to 100 per day, right? So I'm hoping that we would will stay under the 33, and we have a program, a 40-day road safety campaign going on as we speak, and we are putting it out there every single day, tips and bits on road safety. We have a campaign in town centers because we really want to stay on the 33, but Richie, it's looking bad, very bad, because people don't care, as I continue to call them sickheads on our roads. We need to drive for our neighbor. Who's our neighbor? The man beside us, the man behind us, the man in front of us. That's those persons, our neighbors. We're not looking out for them. We don't care. We leave. We want to get to work at 8, but we leave our home 15 miles away at 5 minutes to 8. Can't work.
Yeah, can't work at all. Pickpockets and bad drivers seem hell-bent on making it a silly season, and we don't want that. You obviously are concerned, and I want you to give us a little bit more detail as to your efforts, especially at this time, to encourage, motorists to be more careful on our roads. What are some of the things that you're actually doing?
Well, right now, we are doing a face-to-face road campaign. We go to the drivers, we speak to them. We set up a sound system in the town centers, and we talk to our drivers who are at the stoplights. We're handing out pamphlets. We're doing road safety bits to about 4,000 taxi operators every single morning at 7:30. We're trying all creative means to talk to our drivers and, by extension, road users, because we believe that if we don't do this, we can have much, much more than 400 persons killed on our roads. So let me tell you, it's not easy. We don't have the resources, but we are working with the Transport Authority, with the Road Safety Unit, everybody. We sit on the Road Safety Council. So as a transport group, we are working with them. All the ideas, we are trying to put it out there and make it practical to reduce the number of deaths we have on our roads. This Christmas, we're saying to persons, just for heaven's sake, take it easy on our roads.
Yeah. What do you think the government, though, also needs to do to minimize these crashes?
Stop the talking. Stop the talking. Get some action done. Let me tell you something. Somebody was saying to me from England, from New York last night, said, Newman, why we don't put up some large billboards with some crash scenes, electronic billboard with some crash scene, just showing you the crash scene on an ongoing basis. That could help to speak to the minds, because what we want, is a mindset change on our roads. And so we believe that government should need to invest more in road safety actions in terms of our road conditions. Look at the road from Mapen to Porus. That's not a highway. That's not a main thoroughfare. And things like these cause accidents. But the main cause of accident is the untidy, indisciplined behavior of our motorists out there.
Give us some tips, maybe for new drivers, as well as some best practices for regular drivers this season.
I'm happy you say that, because I just want to mention something that the Ministry of Transport did just last week, putting a system at the Island Traffic Authority where you must go through that system. A simulator before you can get your license. And a number of things. Yesterday we launched the Travel Pal app. But tips, one of the main things I would say to driver, leave your home and your place of work in time. When you're going home in the evening, you don't have to rush it. You're going home. When you leave in your home, depends on the mile, leave at least half an hour earlier in the Christmas season. It is very, very important. Don't wait until 5 to 7 to reach New Kingston at 7 o'clock from 6 miles. It's impossible. And you're going to want to rush because your boss might have a problem with you. You're going to get in an accident. And we are saying to you, leave home early, at least half an hour before your travel time, so you have enough time to get to work. Don't drink and drive. Don't text and drive. If you have to make a call, stop. Pull over. Close up your door, make a call. It can't take more than 5 minutes. Then move on again. And that's why I'm saying leave early, because you don't know what will happen on the road for you to be engaged. You're someone on the phone. So just leave early so you can pull over, take 5. If you didn't sleep last night, Richie, you're going to have a problem on the road this morning.
Time is of the essence, but I do have enough time to ask you one more question. Sorry. What should persons taking a taxi during the Yuletide season really look out for to ensure that they are taking a legitimate cab?
Boy, I wish I have an hour to talk to you on this question. The fact is, Richie, I'm saying to commuters, as I said, we just launched the travel app yesterday, which will come into being as of tomorrow. You can pull down go on the Play Store and pull down. But the most important thing for a commuter, when you're taking a taxi, don't just look for a red plate, right? Look for the badge on the driver, the badge in the car. If you don't see that badge, just say to yourself, that might not be a driver, a taxi driver. You take the car must be properly marked. You see either the black streak on the side or the yellow streak, yes. But more so, that badge is important. And I know my members will give me a lick for this, but I'm saying the badge is important because some drivers don't want to get the badge. The badge says you're a driver, you have been checked by the police and by all sources, you have done the training. Yes, that's the important thing, most important thing. And when the app comes into being as of tomorrow, you just put that license plate number on the app and you'll know that the red plate car is registered, it is licensed, and it's supposed to be on this route. Mm-hmm. That's very important.
Very
important. That information to 2 or 3 other persons within your contact.
All right. Egerton, I want to thank you as always for coming on board. We are all about endorsing calls for increasing road safety and by extension preventing deaths and grief to families. And so we thank you for putting those messages out there this morning. And we wish you, your family, and all your members wonderful, safe, and happy Christmas and a Happy New Year when it comes.
Thank you very much, Richie, and the very same to you and your family.
All right. Take care.
Richie, you there?
I am very much here. Good morning, Red. How are you?
Good morning. We're great. How are you?
Season's greetings. I'm doing well. Happy to have the connection once again.
Good morning, Richie. I'm here too.
I was wondering, Jay, whether or not you're going to allow Red to fly solo because we were looking at the cameras and I didn't see you until just about a minute or so before the connection started. What's up with that, boss?
I ran to a little bathroom break.
Oh, you took a long one, it seems.
Wow.
Richie B.
But because we were kind of wondering, is he allowing Red to fly solo?
I was going to correct you the first time, and I was like, okay, let's let that slip, allowing. But then since you want to go there with it, nobody allows Red to do something. He's not my man or my manager, okay? No, I'm joking.
I must confess, it was DJ Audley who pointed out to me that you had stood up, Red. And that is when I realized that you were alone in the studio at the time. I don't know what he was seeing.
You guys were watching me walk around?
It looks like he was quite impressed with how you walk or something.
Wow.
See, there we go.
You guys can see that all the way from Jamaica?
Yes, we can.
A little bit of it, but all I was seeing was red.
Yes, sir. Good morning.
All he was seeing was red, he said.
Yeah,
you got the accent mixed up? Like he was like, I read.
I was just waiting for the rest of what he was going to say. I was holding my breath.
He's not talking about our headset, by the way. Let me just put that out
there. Richie B. You're letting all the viewers know, right?
No, it's Oddly.
It's oddly enough. Oddly enough.
I might have to usher him out. If he continues like this, I'll have to usher him out of the studio. Believe me.
Oddly, big up Oddly, man like Oddly.
Oh boy, the Christmas is definitely on us. Christmas is just around the corner. We're in Christmas week already. Can you believe it?
Yes.
So fast.
Yeah.
At least you guys don't have snow.
No, we don't, and thankfully, knock on wood. Not even at the Blue Mountain Peak will we have snow right now.
There you go. Wow. Blue Mountain coffee.
I could do, a little spike coffee. I could deal with some of that right now.
Yeah.
With some ackee
Blue
and
Mountain
saltfish.
coffee, yeah, that'll be good. Mm-hmm. Have you ever heard of something called Stamp and Go?
Only Up and Go.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for that. But you ever heard of fritters?
Fritters, of course.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, that's another name for Stamp and Go. Sorry,
Really?
that's another name for fritters.
Really?
Stamp and Go, yeah.
See, Jay didn't know that either.
I didn't know that. Even
Jacadians.
You can call us Jacadians, Cajadians. I've never heard a stamp and go named for fritters.
Yeah, it's really nice. I'm not going to be able to tell you exactly how you make it. It has flour, and usually people put little bits of saltfish and so on in it, and then you fry it up. And I like it very crispy. If you ask me when is the last time I had stamp and go, to be really honest about it, I'd tell you this morning.
Wow.
Wow.
It was quite tasty, actually. Yeah.
Well, we're here jealous just a bit. You know, it feels like, talking to family abroad. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's how it is. Trust me. And we want to say big ups to all the Jamaicans. We know a number of Jamaicans who actually are home for the holidays from Toronto, but there are still many that are there in Toronto. And we say hello to all of them. Many of them actually want to say hello to their friends and family too, right?
Right, that's right. 416-860-0987 if you're in Toronto. We also have a 1-800 number, 1-855-870-4987. So, you can stay connected. We're taking shout-outs. We're taking all that good stuff. And, holiday season, this is, Christmas is like 4 days away. So, we've got some topics. But to start it off, home for the holidays. And here in Ontario, I'm not too sure if you're aware of this, Richie, but we also have restrictions. So,
oh, you do?
Yes, this just came down the pipeline. So basically, you can have a gathering at your house, but only 10 people.
Oh, really?
So there's a limit on it, which is causing some problems. Like our family, my aunt's calling like, hey, uncle's going to be alone, or this one, or why don't you bring them to your house? I'm thinking, well, if you thought of it first, you should bring them to your house. You know what I'm saying?
True.
So it's causing a little bit of some problems. But, Jay, what do you think?
I think it's a problem because I want to see my family. We cook up big cooking. So I want to make sure that we have enough people. You know how much people have to eat a turkey? After I done pay $89 for a smoked turkey, I'm going to need people to eat it.
Ooh, I want some smoked turkey. But the government's being really nice, Richie. Get this.
Yeah.
So if you take your dinner outside of your house, it's 25 people in the cold.
Oh, okay. In the cold?
So if you do it outside, it's 25 people.
Got to be in a rush
Who's
to...
going outside in the winter?
This is it, right?
This is it. You got to be in a rush to eat that meal before it gets cold, in the cold. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
There are restrictions all over, and we're onto some ourselves. I was talking to DJ Raw yesterday, and we were reflecting on the fact that at this time of the year, we'd normally be talking about some of the big annual events like Sting and some of the other stage shows that were around back then. But those days are behind us, all because of what's happening with the COVID-19 and this new variant, Omicron, which we saw where a number of persons in Toronto are testing positive for this new variant. Am I right?
That's right. We don't know them,
The
but
general manager of the Toronto Raptors and a couple of the players have been tested positive for Omicron, and it's making it hard to move around, even for
really
travel
is.
purposes.
I think your foreign minister also tested positive for COVID-19 recently. So the fact is that this thing is not respecting anyone, whomsoever you are. You can get it. Wow, it has really changed the face of the earth.
It really has. And, this is pretty much what we went through last year with the lockdown. So we're kind of used to it. Although it's not a total lockdown, just so you know, restaurants and bars actually have to stop serving alcohol by 11, right, guys? So, there goes, for us, some of the club gigs that we do, just for now.
But you still go to Sugar Daddy's on Friday night, right?
Well, now I won't be able to.
No, you won't?
Right?
Oh, so sorry.
That's like saying, it's like saying to somebody, hurry up and have your drink.
Yeah. Because Omicron will get you at 10:59, so you have to make sure you drink it before 11.
Right. So, what are some of the restrictions on your end?
Well, we can't have these large numbers as we used to either. And entertainment is definitely down to pretty much zero. Although I suspect that there are some persons who will be making their gatherings at their homes, and it might turn out to be a little larger than what might be allowed. But who am I to take those tales out of school? The fact is, no big entertainment events are in fact going to take place. So we're not under lockdown, but the restrictions are here. I saw where the Netherlands actually yesterday, they announced a total lockdown for the entire Christmas, and I feel it for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's hard on the
It
economy.
really
It's
is.
hard on DJs, people in the industry. Like, I remember when, finally last summer we were, allowed to get together. And I remember a couple of parties I went to, seeing the look on everybody's face. It was nice because it was like a reunion, but it was also sad because, so many people that I know in the industry had to close doors. So it's really hard.
Yeah.
0 degrees in the city. That's in Toronto. Jamaica's a whole different story, right, Richie?
It is. We're in the 90s and we're loving it. A bright, brilliant, sunshiny morning.
I wish. And not too sure when we're actually going to make it to Jamaica.
I don't know about you. I'm trying to go next month. I don't know about you. I'm trying.
Jay's talking January.
I have
was the
some
plan.
shows over there, so I'm trying to get them done.
Yeah,
I
man.
got to see what I got to get jabbed in me. How about you, Richie? Are you have to be vaccinated to be able to work?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Answered that question. Next.
Yeah, it's like, at that
Start
point, it's just
planning.
kind of like,
You made
whatever
the right
you got to
move.
do.
You made the right move last week. You made contact with the Jamaica Tourist Board, and you got some
Yep.
information. So,
That's good.
you have a little time. Well, time is of the essence, and we're almost out of time right now. I know you want to send some shout-outs maybe, and also your social media handles before we wrap. So I hand it over to you guys.
Okay, so of course you can follow us at G987 FM. That is our station, and you can hit me up at Red in Dust City, DA City. And Jay, yours?
I'd like to shout out to my sister Valerie Duffus in Jamaica, Kingston. Big up yourself, and you can follow me at J Martin Comic on IG.
Big ups to everybody in Toronto who know Richie B.
Everybody does.
Yeah.
It's a long list. And of course, you can follow us at the Bridge 99 FM, and me personally, Richie B _up and go. It has always been a pleasure since we started this connection. Thank you,
Yes.
Red. Thank you, Jay. And we'll catch up with you guys again on Friday morning, right?
Sounds
Friday.
good. Christmas Eve.
We're going to be talking now to a gospel singer who goes by the name of John Mark Wigan. He's Antiguan Jamaican is how I think he's best described. Good morning to you, John Mark. How are you doing?
Good morning. Thank you for having me. I'm great, man. How are you?
I'm doing well. Season's greetings to you, sir. Christmas is just around the corner. How is it looking for you, John Mark?
Yeah, I'm just gonna be here chilling, because I'm away from my main home. So I'll be here chilling, looking at what's happening.
All right. Now, let me ask you, do we find you this morning in Antigua?
No, I'm in Jamaica.
You're actually in Jamaica, but I know that you have, in fact, lived in Antigua for some time, right?
Yeah, definitely. I grew up there from about age 5 until about age 21. Since then, I've been in Kingston, Jamaica, studying.
Okay, but whilst you're studying, you're also making music.
Definitely. Yeah, man.
Now, I want to ask you, John Mark, growing up in a Christian home, how did the inspiration come about for you to start on this journey as a gospel entertainer?
Growing up in a Christian home, it didn't really bring me to gospel music initially, but I grew up around it. In terms of recordings and so on that I was attracted to, it was just pretty much what my parents played in the home, and that became a part of my repertoire over time. But as I started to go into music, that's when I felt my calling from God. I knew my direction for music. Wouldn't be just anything I wanted to do, but it had to be music for the King.
So you started, what was the first approach? You started writing material, or you started making contact with producers? How did you actually get started?
I started writing material, man. I started imitating my favorites that were in the space at the time. Started writing stuff I think that, would sound as they would approach it. People like Jermaine Edwards, mainly as I was coming up, I used to listen to him a lot when I started diving into gospel music. And over time I met who I needed to. And the first person I met who produced for me was Sherwin Gardner.
Okay.
Gave me my start in the music industry. gospel music industry. And, you know, it was just up from there. Yeah.
It's just been up from there. But I talk to a lot of artists, John Mark, as you could well imagine, and a number of them tell me about, their successes, but they also highlight a number of challenges that they face from time to time. Have you had some challenges that you've had to overcome on this journey yourself?
Most definitely. One of the greatest challenges that we face, well, that I personally face, is resources, capital, and human. Knowing different persons in different spaces to get the right thing done, as opposed to trial and error. That's one thing. Another thing is proving yourself. I've learned over time to stop trying to prove myself, as look at the King's timing, how God would have it set up. I just have to ensure that I'm doing exactly what I need to be doing on my end. Until that time comes. Am I doing the music right? Am I putting my best foot forward? Am I putting as much resource as possible that I have into it so that he could do the rest? I mean, that's been a major challenge. How do we get from point A to point B, getting the music across? How do I get to Bridge and allow Bridge to put the music in their people's ears? You know? So those have been some of the challenges. It's making music overall. Sometimes there's blocks. You feel as if you're trying to create something and there's a mental block or something of the sort. You know, and then there's just life.
Yeah.
There's just life keeps happening. Just like COVID happened.
Yeah. because the pandemic, no doubt, is a major one in terms of the challenges that you've had to overcome. But you press on, and that is the important thing. Before you give us, which I'm going to ask you, if you don't mind me putting you on the spot, to give us a little taste of He Lives. Before you get to that, though, what are you working on presently, and what can we look forward to from you into 2022, for instance?
As 2020 comes up, you can expect two singles at the top of the year, somewhere in January, February. For February especially, I always like to have something reggae, ready for Reggae Month, to propel us into the rest of the year. So you can expect a very solid reggae project. And most of the things that I'll be working on is targeting identity. And so as I work on a complete project, 7-song, 8-song project, the main theme of it is going to be identity. So it's going to cross the spectrum of not just how we view ourselves within Christianity, Christendom, as people of God, but how we view ourselves as a people, as a tribe, as a nation, as a race, and how persons are to view themselves generally in respect to others. But definitely you're going to look for some solid projects like that. Some very uplifting stuff to kind of just bring us into the new space of new possibilities, new outcomes that we see. It's a trending thing. With every problem, there's an arising opportunity.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. I wish you all the best for the new year, and please send us your songs so we can give you some support right here. I want to hear though this song "He Lives," which I think you are prepared, I suspect, to give us a little. Is that your guitar you have there? Yeah, he has his guitar. So we're going to hear a little bit of John Mark Wigan right now doing "He Lives" live on the radio. Take it away, John Mark.
Who created earth, who established heaven? Only one can do that with the words he said. Alpha and Omega, beginning and end. My God is the greatest, no deity contend. Ruler of this kingdom, infinite in wisdom, past, present, and future, you hold it in your hands. You call me by name before my parents met. Must be you who wrote my life, I didn't know myself. We can pretend to, but we cannot avoid you. Your presence is everywhere. Many may turn on one, but we won't forget your love. Don't you tell me that my God is there. Oh, he is so, it is alive. well. Oh, yes, he spoke to me this morning. Yes, he set me on my way. He lives, he lives. Oh, yes, he lives. No, no, no. You cannot take away these blessings, God. You never gave any to me. Everything was given by my Father. Season who supplied all my needs. Who preserves the life of every living man. You should know Jehovah. Who provides a healing for all those who are hurt, body, soul, and mind. Yeah. We can't pretend to, we cannot avoid you. Your presence is everywhere. Many may turn and wonder. We won't forget your love. Don't you tell me that my God is there. He is up and he's alive and well, well. Yes, he spoke to me this morning and he set me on my way. He lives, oh yes he lives. He lives, oh yes he lives. Oh, he lives, oh yes he lives.
Wow. Come on, let's put our hands together for that fantastic John Mark, if I had the time, I'd pull off an encore, man. You are not searching for talent. You're very, very talented, and I wish you all the very, very best. What are your social media handles, by the way, for persons who would like to follow you?
John Mark Wigan Official on YouTube. John Mark Wigan on Facebook. Wigan John Mark. That's just the same thing backwards on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Have you released He Lives as yet?
Yeah, man. He Lives is there on YouTube for you to check it out. It's there on all the other platforms.
Yeah.
TuneCore has exported it to all the major platforms, the iTunes and the Spotify. It's there for your streaming pleasure.
Yeah.
It's there.
All right. What's your message to Jamaica this Yuletide season? In closing, Mr. Wigan, tell us.
Jamaica, I'm in full appreciation and in full awe of what you've been able to accomplish as a people, as a nation. We were hit as a third world country by a pandemic, and look how far we've made it up until now. Blessings to you, kudos to you. Look what God has done for us. Look what God has done with us. There's more powerful things to come from this nation, more powerful things to come from these people. Stay tuned, stay connected to the King of all kings, where our praises are due. He's the author and finisher of Jamaica. Blessings to you, everybody.
Blessings to you too. Blessings to you too, John Mark Wigan. Thank you so much, man. Enjoy the chat and enjoy your performance a cappella or semi-a cappella, because you did have some accompaniment. Great hearing you, great meeting you, and all the best to your family and yourself for this season and also into the new year. Thank you.
Appreciate that. Blessings.
Every time. Yeah, good talent must be exposed. John Mark Wigan. So somebody with a very similar name, Richie, called my phone and says, "Daddy, how you like my singing?" Well, first thing I'm going to tell my son is John Mark Wigan has spelled his name Johnmark. When your mommy and myself decided to name you, we spelled it Jonmarc. So even that is a giveaway. Ain't you, son? And in any event, I think you'll be more on very deeper tones, because I see you're trying to give me some competition, but me and you. Anyway, right now it's 13 past the hour of 10 o'clock. I know that you like to not just look at, but own a few pieces of painting. You don't have to tell us how expensive they are or how much you paid for them, but I know you admire. We have known each other for many years, and I know you admire good paintings. Right?
You're going to mention that I have a copy of the Mona Lisa.
Well, there you go. Okay, I'm not going to ask how much you paid for that. I know how much I paid for my copy of it. But I wanted to introduce you to a new painter. Not in the ranks of, say, a Pablo Picasso, you know, the Spanish painter. Nowhere near Picasso, but similar in name, if not in terms of talent. Because I want to introduce you to Pigcasso, spelled Pigcasso.
Really?
Yeah. Now, Pigcasso. You think you know where I'm going with this, right?
I'm trying to figure this out. But go.
Pigcasso, the painter, was actually discovered when she was rescued by an animal shelter in South Africa. Pigcasso. Pigcasso, yes. The pig that paints. Yep. And the owner of Pigcasso says she found out that Pigcasso was just destroying everything around the house. Just biting up on everything around the house. And so one day she decided to just stick a paintbrush with some paint on it in Pigcasso's mouth. Picasso got busy, and there's a video that backs me up on this, where she just started to just rub that paint on the wall and create some images, and before you know it, it generated a vibe, and people, the owner of Picasso, started selling those paintings. Picasso has had paintings fetching as much as £20,000. You heard me? Yes. And is still doing it, several paintings per day. The owner of Pigcasso is now a multimillionaire through the talents of this one pig.
We need need a link.
You have just met Pigcasso, ladies and gentlemen, and maybe one of these days you want to own a piece of her painting. I can hook you up. Come me not spend my money on buy that. What a morning it has been. Yeah, we had a good time. Egerton Newman was my very first guest at 8 o'clock. Spoke about the transport sector and plans for the Christmas Yuletide season. We had our major newscast at 8:30. That was News 360. And we had a very lively and entertaining segment between our friends from G98.7 and ourselves in the Canadian Connection from 8:45 until 9:15. G98.7 and Bridge 99 FM doing it together in a simulcast. Of course, we had our traffic reports right throughout the morning with several of our peeps in the streets. Come 10 o'clock, we had John Mark Wigan, the Antiguan Jamaican Gospel Singer. And we had you all throughout all of this. You made it happen. You made it possible by listening to us. You give us the energy. You made us feel good through your comments. And we just want to take time in closing to wish you all a wonderful Christmas and best wishes for the season. We're going to keep on saying that right throughout it. And you know something? The highest of distinctions is service to others. That is our final thought for the morning. Thanks to the entire team to help us, who helped us to put it together and deliver it this morning. This has been Up and Go for today, the 21st of December. I don't know what your plans are for today, but I got a lot of work ahead of me. But I ain't complaining. I'm giving thanks.
Richie B, the party master, on Up and Go, the Bridge 99 FM.